Don't you hate it when someone points out a ghastly fact about your favorite snack or body product? Well, now you can arm yourself with a few delightful facts of your own. With this information, you can ensure at least one of your friends either loses their appetite or they're interested in purchasing an item ever again. From the pork fat-riddled body soap to the sweet made from animal remains, here are things you'll never buy once you know what they're made of. Before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos every day. Number 7. Perfumes. If you think that perfume you've just caught a whiff of smells a little off, you could be right, particularly if it's of the expensive variety. Exotic, complex, and fabulously expensive perfumes may include secretions, digestions, and excretions of animals. In fact, animal essences have been prized right throughout history, used in perfumes, incense, and flavorings. They range from sperm whale vomit and cat feces to the hardened poop of the tiny hyrax or fossilized badger urine. Nauseating to most people, they are fiercely sought after, and once diluted, reveal an incredible beauty and delicacy. The use of some of these ingredients is not without controversy, however, as they cannot be obtained without killing or harming the animal. Progress is being made in this area, with sustainable and humane methods being researched. Number 6. Chewing gum. A flavored and sweetened rubber, it is little wonder children are encouraged never to swallow their chewing gum. For one, the body takes years to digest it, and it comes as no surprise considering some of its ingredients. Chewing gum contains both lanolin and synthetic plastic. Why the waxy secretion from sheep's wool, which helps make it waterproof, is used in the manufacturing of a chewable candy, I'm not sure. But it is only one part of a list of questionable additives, including aspartame, inflammatory titanium dioxide, and possibly carcinogenic butylated hydroxyanisole, or BHA. Unsurprisingly, the ingredients in the base of chewing gum are not disclosed by the companies. Instead, they are listed simply as gum base to disguise the inclusion of petroleum, lanolin, glycerin, polyethylene, polyvinyl acetate, petroleum wax, stearic acid, and latex. Now, when you think of the dirty chewing gum stuck on sidewalks, park benches, and bus seats, you'll understand why it stays put for years. Made from plastic, it is yet another form of plastic pollution and a blight on both our landscape and our gut. Number 5. Salad dressing. Adding a touch of flavor to your salad of choice seems a harmless enough task, until you consider the ingredients that make up the dressing. Titanium dioxide is something we associate with paint and industrial use. However, it's also used in foods such as ranch dressing and other creamy salad dressings. The inorganic pigment serves as a whitener in many foods, including candies, baked goods, and other dairy products, icings, and toppings. But is this chemical dangerous? Exposure to nanoparticles of titanium dioxide, or E171, and other additives was once considered harmful to the immune system. However, this has never been proven. A 2017 study by the French National Institute for Agricultural Research, however, has shown that titanium dioxide nanoparticles are absorbed by the intestine and passed into the bloodstream of animals after oral exposure. Rats exposed to regular oral doses of the chemical for 100 days determined that chronic oral exposure led to a non-malignant stage of carcinogenesis, the process of normal cells becoming cancer cells, in 40% of exposed animals. Not exactly reassuring, is it? Number 4. Ultra-processed food. It's hardly breaking news that eating too many fatty foods can knock years off your life, not to mention increase your waistline. However, new research has found that deaths from heart disease, cancer, and other illnesses are linked to the consumption of ultra-processed food. These foods include chips, white bread, ready meals, sausages, and sugary treats. And worryingly, they make up half of the average Briton's diet. We all know that the food we eat plays a significant role in our health, with high highly processed foods not providing the nutrients our body requires. The good news is that not every food that comes in a box is ultra-processed. An international panel of food scientists and researchers has created a classification list to help those confused by this statement. The system, called NOVA, splits foods into 4 categories: unprocessed foods, minimally processed foods, and ultra-processed foods. Unprocessed or minimally processed foods are best described as real, whole foods, including vegetables, fruits, meats, eggs, and milk. Processed foods contain additives. However, most have been altered, but not in a way that is considered detrimental to your health. Finally, ultra-processed foods are where almost half of our calories come from. Hence, these foods should be kept to a minimum and include the old favorites like chocolate, chips, and candy. Not surprising and a little upsetting, but as they say, you are what you eat, and I am garbage. Number 3. Energy drinks. In 2019, students from City Hill Middle School in Naugatuck, Connecticut traveled with their science teacher, Katrina Spina, to the state capitol to testify in support of a bill that would ban sales of energy drinks to children under the age of 16. As part of a chemistry unit, the students had studied the ingredients and potential health impacts of several energy drinks over a 3-month period. They concluded that heightened consumption could be fatal, particularly for adolescents. Their research also found that energy drinks are incredibly popular amongst kids, offer zero nutritional value, and include excessive amounts of caffeine that can lead to high blood pressure, nausea, vomiting, and convulsions. Other adverse health effects linked to excessive energy drink consumption, as illustrated in a study published in the International Journal of Health Sciences in 2015, include anxiety, insomnia, gastronomical upset, headaches, hyperactivity, and diuresis. A study in Sweden also found links between energy drinks and dental erosion. Pediatric dietitian and British Dietetic Association spokesperson Claire Thornton Wood said high levels of sugar and caffeine impact on obesity, tooth decay, blood pressure, and concentration at school. Young people who drink an excessive number of energy drinks per day to avoid eating are also said to have an increased risk of heart arrhythmia from the high doses of caffeine. Number 2. Mac and cheese. If the color of boxed mac and cheese doesn't put you off, maybe its list of dangerous ingredients will. Considered the ultimate comfort food, it may be hearty and satisfying, but it is also chock full of dangerous chemicals, including high levels of phthalates. These toxins have been attributed to testosterone reduction and birth abnormalities. The reason boxed mac and cheese is high in phthalates is because of the plastic involved in processing, plus its fat content. These toxins are a cause of real concern, as the threshold doses aren't known. They are especially dangerous for infants and expecting females, and the risks of the toxin are not widely advertised either. In fact, phthalates are everywhere, not just in mac and cheese. They can leach into your packaged foods and out of flooring and furniture. If we travel back in time to the late 1800s, when we lived in a world that wasn't littered with plastic, life was a lot simpler and a lot less toxic. However, plastic was too hard to mold into useful objects, and some genius discovered that camphor was good at making plastics softer, flexible, and easier to work with, and suddenly everything changed. Camphor was replaced by phthalates in the 1930s due to its pungent odor, and by the 1950s, plastic was everywhere. It wasn't until the 1970s that researchers started speculating about the health effects of phthalates in foods, and only now is it finally getting some public spotlight. Yet another reason to remind ourselves that just because it's easy doesn't mean that we should eat it. Number 1. Nutella. Nuts, cocoa, and 58% sugar are the basic ingredients of Nutella. The lovely brown gloop that's become so popular since its inception just over 50 years ago is more than a little unhealthy. So it contains nuts, and that's about where the healthy portion ends. In fact, this delicious spread is basically half sugar and a third fat. Not only that, but Nutella includes the second most evil of all the oils, palm oil. These plantations have caused severe deforestation, threatened wildlife, and the global climate. For Oro, the manufacturers of Nutella trace their palm oil back to sustainable plantations, which is at least one plus. However, it could and should do more. These irresponsible food companies make sweet things that we like, have us believe they are healthy, and then we're hooked. Once we find out that our favorite snack is incredibly unhealthy, it's so much harder to give up. And what about the palm oil? According to the European Food Safety Authority, it has been proven that high-temperature refining may lead to an increase in potentially carcinogenic contaminants that have been linked to cancer. However, the authority doesn't necessarily think it's unsafe. Now, that's comforting, isn't it? No matter the concerns raised, Ferrero wasn't planning any recipe changes, as they believe an inferior substitute would be a step backward. The company also uses about 185,000 tons of palm oil a year, so switching it out wouldn't be easy. And Nutella isn't the only delicious treat made with the oil. Chocolate bars, ice cream, cookies, and pizza dough also contain palm oil. It would require real commitment to live without all these, now wouldn't it? Are you the type that checks the ingredients of everything you eat? I, for one, don't ever seem to have the time, but it probably pays to at least glance over them from time to time. Imagine finding out you've been consuming a dangerous toxin on a regular basis. Not exactly ideal, is it? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.